Good morning, Ecclesia fam. Welcome to our sermon series. We're back again. If you've made it, that means you've made it through the week with God's grace. We're going to do it a little bit differently this week. We're going to have a open discussion. I've got guests in the studio with me. Welcome, Wally and Linwell. We're going to go through our discipleship series, but we're going to break it down and we're going to discuss it. You're welcome to join us in the comment section. Thanks for joining us, guys. So let's get right into it. So we've been going through our whole discipleship series, and I've got a couple of questions that I want to share with you, and we can just talk it out. How would you define discipleship?
Well, firstly, it would be that it's intentional and relational. Intentional meaning that it's a priority for me. When I get to know you, or I would want to disciple you, I would be intentional to get to know you for who you are, showing interest in who you are. But even relational meaning that, it's not just a process or a strategy, but rather it's about getting to know you for who you are, getting to know your family, getting to know who you associate yourself with. So it's basically, me getting involved in your life, and you getting involved into my life. And it makes it easier then to have a relationship, and it becomes, a process of growing together.
Yeah, sure. Linwell?
I think the definition of discipleship for me personally is to share the gospel and be intentional, like you said. When you meet someone, to intentionally to go to this person and to basically just tell them your story. Each of us have our own story, how we became Christians. So maybe he can relate to your story specifically. So I think, it might be at work, it might be in a bus when you are traveling, it might be just on a walk or in the gym. Those of you who like to go gymming. So I think discipleship is basically to go out and share the gospel with people. And you will get some that will be really interested and that would like to connect with you. And this means that this connection will later have to grow into a friendship. That through friendship and through spending time together is whereby you will be discipling this person. So I think, like Wally said, it must be intentional and it must be relational. So those two factors really plays a big role in discipling.
Awesome. I must say I agree with both of you. I definitely think it is really very much relational, because even personally, on a personal level, if I think about how we interact, us as a church family, each one of us comes out of a different background and different circumstances, and we all had to go through a process of getting to know each other, knowing the ups and the downs. Sometimes you even see the not so nice, but you have to get through that, and as the word says, iron sharpens iron, and that's basically how you grow. You don't necessarily spiritually by engaging in the Word of God, but also the way you engage with other believers or co-workers, friends, family, and it's definitely relational.
Yeah, I just want to add something there. Like one of the books said, more is taught than taught. So the more time you spend with this person, the more this person will see your behavior, the way you handle yourself, the way you are. So you will not just listen to what you say, but you will also see what you do. So then what he sees will later rub off on you.
Yeah, basically also boils down to that thing that they say, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along. How can one start discipleship? You can even use an example that you might have already used or engaged in. Wally, I'm going to start with you.
Discipleship, it's a very broad theme, but it comes down to what is the ultimate goal that you want to achieve when you start something such as discipleship. For example, me and Linwell, we started a couple of weeks ago, PlayStation 4. And, we've just been playing PlayStation on a Saturday afternoon, and we've just invited a few people. And we play games, we challenge each other, but then, we share the gospel, we share our testimony, and we just have fun playing games, but ministering to people.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even, just invite people to having coffee with them, during the week. So it boils down to, what are you passionate about doing? I mean, if you like someone that you like reading books, then you get yourself a few people that enjoys reading books,
Yeah.
and thereby you do a discipleship.
Do a discipleship. Yeah.
Start a book club.
Start a book club. Exactly. Some of us are fortunate to be placed in certain positions, especially at work. I would say I'm lucky that I'm working at the police station. I see a lot of young men, young women each day passing through our station. So I use that opportunity when they are down and out and there's no hope. Some of them comes there and you can see that this person really don't know where he's going or what to do, and that opens the door for me to share my story, and so much of my past can relate to them, and through that connection that we share, because I might have been struggling with drugs, alcohol abuse, and this person comes to the police station maybe for fighting because of using drugs or alcohol, then I can go to him and talk to him. Brother, I've been there. I know how it is. I know you don't want to be there, but you don't know how to get out of it. So I can share my story. I can share how God helped me in it. How He took me from the dirt and cleaned me up and made me brand new.
Yeah, sure. With the whole discipleship things, there are two ends of the spectrum. There's the one where you need discipling, and then there's the one where you're the actual person that's the disciple maker. And I think for the people that are on the end where they need discipling, I think what you need to do is you need to step out of your comfort zone. You need to engage with a church family or with some form of ministry where you can slot in and where you can grow and learn. Alternatively, when you're on the disciple making spectrum, it's like you guys said, you can use anything, you can use any means. Like most of us, we're all part of a group where we do a curriculum of Ed Cole's books, and we use this as a means of discipleship and learning and growing in our walk. All right, so do you guys think discipleship is important? And if so, why? Linwell, I'm going to start with you this time.
I would say it's not important. I would say it's a responsibility. I don't feel like it's something that
Like it's not optional.
It's not optional.
It's a must.
It's like when I see a person, I think some guys when they see me, they start thinking other things, because when I get them, I start without even realizing, I start discipling and I start sharing the gospel, and I want to find out. We talked last week, what happened? Why didn't you come back? Well, so for me personally, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think if you really love God, He will place something in you that will. I get joy from it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I think each one of us has our own story and our own relationship with God. So the way I do it might not be the way He does it or you do it. So yeah.
Awesome. Wally?
Definitely, it's very important, because I mean, when I grew up and I accepted Christ, I didn't know what discipleship was. All I knew was that I get saved, I go to church on a Sunday morning, and then Monday or Tuesday I attend a prayer meeting, and that's it. But more and more I realized, especially with the discipleship sermons that we've had, I realized more and more the importance and the need for discipleship, because it allows me to journey with someone. It allows me to be in relationship with someone that we're doing it together. We're learning from each other. We're being accountable for each other. That instead of me preaching the gospel, getting someone saved, and then you're going on to the next one, but rather you journey with someone, you allow them to grow in character. You allow them to grow in integrity. You allow them to grow in their faith.
Yeah.
The simplicity of you allow them to learn how to pray. You allow them, you help them grow in how do I read my Bible. So it's a matter of growth and doing it together. You're not alone.
So it's like a safe environment to grow in. Awesome. How has the series influenced, changed, or transformed your life? You're welcome to make it personal.
Basically, the series have just made me realize how important discipleship is. If I look in our community, especially in Harlem, fatherlessness is one of the greatest problems. Which, if you take fatherlessness and you put it here, you can draw lines down all of the problems that we're having in our community, starting with drug abuse, domestic violence. Those of us who have received this life-changing encounter that grew in how to be a godly father. I mean, the books that were doing how to be a real man. So I think it's our responsibility to go out there and start taking this young man who never had a real man in his life, who never know, you don't know how a real man looks like, how he needs to act, what he does. So I think this series has just reminded me that the responsibility is so great on our shoulders that we need to go out, we need to disciple, and we need to do it each and every day. It should be a lifestyle. It should not be something that we do today, and I don't want to do it. We should really ask God to open up passion inside of you, so that when you do something with a passion, you will enjoy it. And like Pastor always say, if the why is crystal clear, why you are doing this, then you won't lack motivation. So I think we should look at why are we doing this. Yeah. So if you know why you are doing this, then I think you will enjoy every bit of the Saturday.
I think, for me personally, it's been about sharing my story. We're so much caught up with our own self that we don't realize the importance of our own testimony. That I've got a story to share no matter what it may be. For example, Lemuel spoke about fatherlessness. Okay, I grew up with my father, okay, but I never grew up with my biological mom. So I might not know how it feels or have the experience of growing up with my own biological mom, but you do, for example. And I can share that, okay, I can ask the question, so how does it feel to grow up with your mom? Because I know how it feels to grow up with a father, And, the second thing is that I've grown to learn to share my story because of the importance and the value that it is, because people want to know your story. Why do you do what you do? And why are you a Christian? Why do you believe in Jesus Christ? People want to know. The third thing would be is that people want to see if you are the real deal. I mean, I can say I'm a Christian, but does my lifestyle and my words testify? Does my life bear the fruit of a Christian? Sure. So true.
Yeah, like our book say, don't preach.
Don't practice what you preach.
Don't practice what you preach. Preach what you practice. So that's definitely one of the things we should look at. We should not just go out there, throw out words and no, you must do this, do this. Our lifestyle should actually, this person should see in our lifestyle the way we are, and they should also basically come to us.
Yeah.
How do you do this? How do you always maintain this that you are having?
So you guys would agree with me if I say that the series was a good reminder of the importance of discipleship, and also reminding us that we have a story and that we need to share our stories. How has the series helped you to share your faith testimony or your story?
Well, definitely. I mean, if you look at COVID-19, for example, it's been for me personally, it has allowed me to narrow in and share more with the people around me. That that because we're trying to build relationships, when we're trying to keep each other accountable, this series has allowed me to take a few pointers and just share it with people. Not enforcing it upon them, and just sharing in our own Tuesday evening men's group, and just sharing a few pointers. My concern, how I'm challenged personally during this time, even how is this discipleship model changed my perspective of how I view things the way I see things. I mean, in one of the series, there was this moment where Pastor mentioned about, Jesus walking on water and Peter getting out of the boat. Okay, and it really made me thought about, wow, we've got COVID-19 here. Okay, am I going to be a Peter that walks on water, or am I going to be on the safe side and just keep everything cozy? And I was challenged by that, and I thought, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to put my faith out in the sense that, you know what? I'm going to trust God in this time. I mean, we're all struggling financially. People having financial challenges. How are we going to do this? And I've come to a point that, well, there's no other option except trusting God.
Yeah, like what is it? Basically, what the series said. What I took from the series is that your own personal story that you have has a lot of so many men and so many women are struggling with the same things that you were struggling with. So just by sharing your story and how God helped you, they can relate to you. And the other thing is also to trust God, to really, really trust God and to really take time out to have a relationship with God. We can do all these other things, but if we don't really have a real relationship with God, then all of these things, is for nothing. So if you have a real relationship with God, God will instill things in you, and He will put people on the path, and He will show you people to go to. So I think the most important thing about discipling is to have a personal living relationship with God. And through that, like the vine, you have to be connected. If you are not connected, then I think you won't be able to really have impact in what you are doing. So for me, most important thing is really have a relationship with God and really, really, really spend time with Him. The other things will just come on. First seek the kingdom of God and all His righteousness. All other things will add up.
Thank you guys for joining me in the studio. I think we've got one thing down, that discipleship is intentional, it's relational, and it's definitely important. All three of us agree. It's a vital part of the growing process. I hope you guys enjoyed the session and found value in it. I hope to see all of you next week as we continue with this discussion on discipleship. A few points. We've got COVID care campaign packages that we want to make for people in quarantine. Please do contact the church office to get involved. We also have our Friday evening prayer drives. You're welcome to join us from your homes. This will be from 6 to 8. And then don't forget to like our Facebook page, our Instagram page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you all next week. Goodbye and God bless.